A creaking heirloom, a whisper in the night. A young girl's terror echoes within walls of painted dreams. This is the tale of Emily and the Dollhouse, where shadows dance and a vengeful spirit claws its way from a forgotten past. Dare to listen, for within this darkness courage blooms, and the price of freedom is measured in screams. Emily sank down on the sofa. Her heart was heavy with grief. She had returned from her grandmother's funeral. After a long battle with her illness, Emily's grandmother had finally passed away in her sleep. Although she had seen it coming, Emily was heartbroken. She was quite close to her grandmother. Her mother worked long hours and barely had enough time to see her, so Emily was practically raised by her grandmother. One of her early memories of her grandmother were of this intricate wooden dollhouse. Her grandmother kept it locked up in the attic. Emily had discovered it by accident. She was 7 years old. She was at her grandmother's house the day before Christmas. Every year, her grandmother got her a wonderful present, and she couldn't wait to see what it was this year. After searching around the house, she decided to go looking for it in the attic. She had never been up there because she found it a little creepy, but her curiosity got the better of her. She snuck up to the dark, dusty attic and found a large, beautiful dollhouse stowed away in the corner. Her heart leapt with joy. This must be it, her Christmas present. She was about to have a closer look when the attic door burst open and revealed her grandmother. With a look of horror on her face, she grabbed Emily by the arm and led her down the attic and sternly told her never to go up there again. Emily had never seen her grandmother act like this. She had never once raised her voice at Emily before. After that incident, the attic door was kept locked at all times, but there was something about that dollhouse that Emily couldn't keep out of her mind. Fast forward to the present day, she was surprised when 4 workers arrived at her house with a large, heavy-looking box and a letter from her grandmother. The letter read, "Dear Emily, if you're reading this, I am no longer alive. This box has the dollhouse that you found in my attic all those years ago. I cannot trust anyone else with this possession. Please keep it locked at all times. Do not open the box under any circumstance. Do not let anyone near it." The box itself had the words, "Do not open," written on it ominously in large capital letters. True to her grandmother's wishes, Emily kept the dollhouse locked away in her own attic, but she could not shake off this feeling that the dollhouse was calling out to her. Months went by, and that feeling got stronger and stronger. The dollhouse was showing up in her dreams almost every night. One fine day, Emily just couldn't take it anymore. She went up to her attic and opened up that large, dusty box to reveal that thing which had been haunting her dreams. Emily knelt before the intricate dollhouse, its miniature world gleaming under the weak rays of the winter sun peeking through the small attic window. It was beautiful. Every little detail was immaculate, from the tiny polished wooden furniture to the ruffles and embroidery on the clothes of the small wooden dolls inside. But as her fingers traced the delicate woodwork, a shiver ran down her spine, a prickle of unease that seemed to emanate from the very house itself. Little did Emily know that she would have to pay a heavy price for breaking her promise. The first whispers started subtly, a creak from the attic, a flicker of movement in the corner of her eye, the scent of faded roses clinging to the air. Emily, a pragmatist by nature, dismissed them as tricks of the light, her grief amplifying the shadows. Maybe she missed her grandmother very much. Surely she was imagining things. After all, what else could it be? But the whispers grew bolder. Emily was getting very uneasy. Emily checked on the dollhouse. The little wooden dolls had shifted positions on their own. The little wooden furniture had toppled. The whispers, like wind through cobwebs, filled the air, carrying the faint echo of a child's terrified sobs. Horrified, Emily tried to get rid of the dollhouse. She dumped it in the large garbage bins outside and breathed a sigh of relief when the trucks came and took the trash away. However, the next morning, the dollhouse was perched innocently on the kitchen counter in pristine condition. Emily frantically tried everything, from setting it on fire to smashing it to pieces. It just kept coming back perfectly unharmed on the kitchen counter. Sleep became a battleground. Nightmares of trapped souls and skeletal hands reaching for her throat haunted Emily. As days crept into weeks, the nightmares got worse. Emily's mother grew worried about her daughter's increasingly erratic behavior. They would usually speak on the phone every single morning, and Emily would visit every weekend. However, calls went unanswered, and Emily stopped showing up on the weekends. Concerned, Emily's mother drove to her daughter's house to find that Emily looked, for lack of a better word, haunted. Her skin was sickly pale, and there were dark circles under her eyes. She had even lost a lot of weight. Emily's mother demanded to know what was going on. Hesitantly, Emily told her mother about the dollhouse and the hauntings. After a long, tearful embrace, Emily's mother called in a pastor, a kind man with eyes that held the wisdom of countless whispered prayers. He listened patiently to Emily's tale, his face creased with concern, then spoke of a vengeful spirit trapped in the dollhouse haunting Emily. The pastor explained that the only way to stop the haunting was for the spirit to find peace. In order for this to happen, Emily would have to perform a ritual. The ritual itself was simple: a cleansing of the house with salt and sage on a full moon, and a chanting of a few words as a plea for the spirit to find peace. The pastor warned Emily that the spirit would not go easily and would fight back. Emily, eager to put this ordeal behind her, brushed aside her fears and agreed to perform the ritual. On the next full moon, the pastor, Emily, and her mother prepared to start the ritual in Emily's attic, the place where it all began. The dollhouse was placed in a circle of sea salt. Sage was burned in all four corners of the attic. But as Emily chanted the words, the air crackled with unseen energy. The dollhouse rattled, its miniature windows glowing with an eerie red light. A spectral figure, a girl with tear-streaked eyes and a haunted gaze, materialized before them. The spirit, consumed by rage and sorrow, lashed out. Shadows danced on the walls, furniture levitated, and a freezing wind whipped through the room. Emily's mother cried out, but Emily stood firm, her voice unwavering as she continued the ritual, the words tasting like ashes on her tongue. The spirit lunged, a spectral claw reaching for Emily's throat. The world blurred, the air thick with dust and screams. Then, with a final ear-splitting crack, the dollhouse shattered, its pieces scattering like fallen stars. The spirit, trapped within its splintered remains, let out a wail that tore through the room before dissolving into a wisp of smoke, leaving behind only a chilling silence. Exhausted and shaken, Emily clung to her mother, the weight of the ordeal settling upon them. The dollhouse was gone, its haunted memories scattered like dust motes in the sunlight. But in its place, a strange peace had descended, a sense of closure that whispered of a soul finally set free. Emily knew the scars of the haunting would remain, etched in her dreams, and the echo of a child's grief. She would eventually move on with her life and put the dollhouse behind her. But sometimes, right before she's drifting off to sleep, she wonders, where did her grandmother get the dollhouse? Who did the dollhouse belong to? What happened to the child whose spirit haunted the dollhouse? However, there are some mysteries that are not meant to be solved. Sleep tight, dear listener, if you can. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, consider subscribing for more bone-chilling stories that will keep you up long after the lights are out. Until next time, remember, sometimes the darkest shadows hide the bravest hearts.